And these people treat people like Trump like a fictional hero, like a fictional character in a movie or in a book. It's not real life. People, and look, I've done it too. It's not like, oh, I'm better than everybody because I get it and you don't. That's the reality. Like Americans, or I would say this applies to most of the West, more and more and more, our life is fiction. And so what a lot of people start doing is they start attributing all these fictional characteristics and projecting them, onto Trump. They start acting like Trump is like a movie character. He's like this, he's the flawed hero. He could have stayed, at his mansion and just lived a quiet life. Like they buy the narrative. They buy the propaganda. The whole story of Trump, like the mythos of Trump becomes their reality. And so when things happen, they try to fit it within that mythos. They try to okay, well, Trump's not arresting Hillary. Therefore, there must be this big secret plan. There must be like this underground, patriot movement within the deep state that is, talking to us through secret. And they don't see how fucking crazy that sounds. Because in a fictional world, that would make sense. In a comic book, that would sound totally normal. It'd be interesting. It'd be cool. Life isn't that interesting and it's not that cool. And now we get to like the weird part of this, the real weird part of this, right? Because in one way they do believe it, right? Like they really believe this fantasy. They come up with this fantastical version of Trump. They put all their hope and dreams. And by the way, increasingly so now, because a lot of these people don't have religion, right? They don't. And so Trump becomes a de facto religious figure in their lives. He becomes, and a lot of these people don't have fathers either. So Trump becomes a de facto father figure too. So you have all these people who literally call Trump a God emperor. They don't mince words. They call him a God emperor, unironically, right? So if you're a God emperor, you really can't do any wrong, right? And these people will say that. Anytime Trump says something crazy sounding or stupid sounding, they'll say, "Oh, wait till wait for the 4D chess. You'll eventually figure it out." And eventually, someone comes up with some weird fictional narrative that makes that okay, right? And that explains it away. The fiction around Trump has increased in tandem with the amount of time, the amount of money, the amount of sacrifice his supporters have put into it. The more you sacrifice, the more that relationships you give up on, the more money that you lose out on because you get, you get fired from your job, you get in fights with your family members. The more you sacrifice, the more you tell people, no, Trump can make it. And you're really putting a lot of shit on the line. You're really putting a lot at risk. The more you're willing to believe about this guy, more fiction you're willing to buy into because you have to. And it gets to a point eventually with a lot of Trump supporters where they're believing QAnon. They're believing this crazy fantasy version where every negative thing Trump does is 4D chess. It's part of some elaborate plan to really do what you want, even though on its face it seems like it's not like he's doing what you thought he would do. He is really, it's just like this crazy thing. You see what I'm saying? And then every time you buy into one of these crazy lies, every time you read more of this fiction, buy into it, you have to move on to the next level. You're going to be more and more willing to buy into more and more crazy because you've already bought into all this other crazy. And every time you accept some of the previous lies, it's going to be more embarrassing for you to admit that you were wrong, right? So you're stuck. You have to, okay, well, if I admit that this is bullshit, that means all this other shit's bullshit, and then I look like an idiot. So instead of that, I would rather just buy into this new bullshit, which is you just dig yourself deeper and deeper and deeper.